So, okay, we'll start. So, the PPT is visible now. At least message me. Put it in the chat box. If you cannot reply, just put it in the chat box. PPT is visible. Yes or no? Yes or no? Just I want to confirm before going proceed. Is it visible? Is it visible? PPT is visible, Niyar? Put it in the chat box. You type it in the chat box, yes, if it is okay. Pawan, can you reply? Okay, then we'll proceed. PPT is not visible, please inform me. Otherwise, you are wasting your time and myself is wasting my time. If something is a problem, technical problem like PPT is not visible or voice is not audible, please stop me at any time. You can inform me. I hope everything is fine now. We'll start the class. Good morning. So you have started with equation. Conduction combined with convection. Already you have finished one derivation, Galerkin approach for heat conduction. So now conduction combined with convection, we are adding additional term. That's a convective term. That's all. If you are familiar with conduction equation, already you have finished in long back around 1 week before. Then conduction combined with convection, it will be easy for you. You have started with this diagram yesterday. So we have conduction. The conduction terms are given by Q and convection is given by QH. On the surface, there is a convection, but at the tip, you are assuming that there is no convection. The Q out, so you are assuming that Q out is 0. During later stage, you are assuming that Q out is 0. Then we have derived a governing differential equation. So one is convective heat transfer, that is given by H into A into T minus T infinity. But A, you have to remember, A is the convective heat transfer area, that is given by P into dx. If you imagine it's a circular shaft or rod having perimeter P, and this thickness of the strip is dx, then total convective heat transfer become P into dx, perimeter into dx. If it is rectangular cross section, the perimeter is given by 2 into P, 2 into W into width into depth in the case of rectangular rod. If it is circular rod, then it will be pi into d. That is the perimeter. In general, you have to remember when you come to convection, you have to consider the convective heat transfer area. Most of the time it is a surface area, not the cross section area or area normal to the heat transfer. So after equating Q in is equal to Q out, there is a one term, that is a heat generation term. Q dash refer to heat generation term, and this is Qx is conduction term. This Qx plus dx is again it's a conductive term, and Hp into dx T minus T infinity, that is convective term. The finally end with, after simplification, I'm not going to derive, already you have finished yesterday. So finally end with one equation, that is nothing but governing differential equation for conduction combined with convection. The first term is mainly for heat generation, the second term is conduction heat transfer, and third term, this term is for convective heat transfer. So already we have finished one derivation. So Galerkin approach for the conduction. In that particular equation, we have considered only first two terms. Now you are considering the third term. That is the only difference between previous derivation and today's derivation. So now this is the governing differential equation. So you are familiar with Galerkin formula. We have spent around 1 hour in the previous last week. So Galerkin formula is given by 0 to L phi into Rd into dx equal to 0. So Rd is nothing but residual. So residual is nothing but governing differential equation for conduction combined with convection. That is the governing differential equation. So this last equation refers to governing differential equation. So this is nothing but Rd. We have phi. Phi is a temperature function that we will discuss later. The phi is equal to n into xi, that already we have discussed. Rd refer to residual, that is nothing but governing differential equation. Now we have the integral term. You are substituting this Rd is replaced by complete this term. So that means, so phi, this term is Rd into dx. After expanding the term, so this term you are considering the first term, and this term you are considering the second term. So this I am referring as a 3a equation. Later stage we are referring equation number 3a. So 3a equation is nothing but Galerkin equation for conduction combined with convection. Now if you consider only the first term is 0 to L phi into q plus k into d square t divided by dx square into dx, that you can see here. This is the first term. This is the first term you are considering. You are simplifying the first term. Again you are expanding the first term. Once you expand, you will get term 1a and 1b. For our reference, you are taking as a term 1a as well as 1b. So that if you go for combine those two terms, and if you try to simplify, the later stage we can practice. But initially you can take it as a term 1a and 1b, you practice. Once you are familiar, then you can two terms together we can simplify. To understanding better, I am taking the term separately 1a, I am simplifying it. I am taking the term separately 1b, simplifying it. In the similar way, I am taking the term 2 separately, I am simplifying it. If you consider 1a, we have 0 to L phi q into dx, where q refer to heat generation per unit volume. Q refer to heat generation per unit volume. For the total volume, it is given by A into dx. That's why there's the term dx. Phi is the temperature function, temperature at any point. That function phi can be expressed in terms of one more vector, that is referred to global virtual temperature vector. So that means global temperature vector, already you are familiar, T1, T2, T3, but we are assumed temperature function is xi1, xi2, xi3, xi4. We are assumed the temperature at different node. That assumed temperature is xi1, xi2, xi3, xi4. In simple way, The actual temperature may be referred as T1, T2, T3, T4. The virtual temperature, as name suggests, it is not an actual temperature. Virtual temperature function is given by xi1, xi2, xi3, xi-L transpose, because temperature is always the vector. It is a column vector. So now you are writing the xi is equal to n5. So that is nothing but, imagine we are familiar with heat element. We are familiar. At node 1 temperature is T1, at node 2 temperature is T2. So once you know the temperature at nodal point T1 and T2, by using interpolation function, we can find out the temperature at any point within the element. So in the similar way, we know the temperature. This is the global temperature vector. Xi is known. So we know n also. Xi is also known, n also known. We can find out the temperature function at temperature or temperature function at any point within the element. In simple concept is, we know the temperature at nodal point. So we can find out the temperature at any point within the element by using interpolation function. In simple way, when you come to heat transfer, at node 1 temperature will be at 500 degrees Celsius, node 2 the temperature is, let it be 100 degrees Celsius. Between the node, exactly between the node 1 and node 2, so what is the temperature, that we can go for interpolation. It is nothing but a general mathematical interpolation. There is no FEM, there is no separate interpolation for FEM. There are many interpolation functions. The few interpolation functions are using in finite element analysis. The one interpolation is N1 and N2, that's used in bars, trusses, even heat transfer also. So where N1 is equal to 1 minus xi divided by 2 and N2 is equal to 1 plus xi divided by 2. But when you come to beams, you are using Hermite function. So in the similar way, so virtual temperature at any point within the element is given by phi. Phi is equal to n xi. The phi is number at one number. So that is given by n vector and xi vector, that you can take the transpose. So xi transpose is equal to n into that. So finally there is a mathematics. If C is equal to AB, C transpose is equal to A transpose and B transpose. But C also equal to B transpose into A transpose. There is a one more formula in mathematics vector we might have studied. In the similar way, we can write xi also equal to phi is equal to xi transpose into n transpose. Not, don't consider xi is equal to n transpose into xi transpose. Phi is equal to xi transpose into n transpose. We have the equation. Just we have the equation first term xi. The xi is replaced. Phi is replaced by xi transpose into n transpose. Same thing here. Here actually xi, we have term xi. The xi is replaced by, the phi is replaced by xi transpose n transpose. Q remains same, no change, and dx remains same. So now the integration limit is from 0 to L. So we know the value of xi, n. So n is given by 1 minus xi divided by 2. N2 is 1 plus xi divided by 2. Those are in the natural coordinate system. Hence, you have to write the integral. You have to do the integration in natural coordinate system. Now it is 0 to L. You have to transform the integration from 0 to L to minus 1 to plus 1 in natural coordinate system. That's why you are going to replace dx by dz. This equation you are familiar, you are using in bars also, even you are using the same equation in beams, even in the same equation you are using in trusses also. This equation refer to, xi refer to natural coordinate system, x1, x2, x refer to global coordinate system. This equation relates the natural coordinates and global coordinate. Why you are using this equation is, we have dx, so dx should be expressed in terms of xi, and this limit should be transformed to minus 1 to plus 1. Hence you are writing each and every information in terms of natural coordinates. So finally we get dz. Finally we require dx. Dx is given by Le by 2 into dz, and x2 minus x1 refer to length of the element. So x coordinate of node 1 is x1, the x coordinate of node 2 is x2. X2 minus x1 gives refer to the length of the element, that is constant. You can take as Le. If you substitute all those things here, in this equation we have 0 to L. Now you are moving from the global coordinate to natural coordinate system. So then you will get minus 1 to plus 1. and all those things remain same, no change. The dx is replaced by le by 2 into d xi. So we can see here. So dx is replaced by le by 2 into d xi, and integration limit changing from -1 to +1. I hope everything is fine. If any difficulties, issues, just unmute your audio system and clarify. So now we are going for further simplification. You are taking xi transpose because known, because this is a virtual global temperature. It is known. You are taking it outside. Then you are end with q le2 into n transpose into d xi. Then if you simplify it further, so we will end with first a term becomes xi transpose q le by 2 minus 1 so and so. So now q le by 2, it is constant, we can take it outside. Then integration of -1 to +1, that yesterday we have derived at the end of this slides already we have discussed, and n is given by n1 n2. It is not n1, it is n1 n2, and n transpose is given by n1 n2. That's a column vector. We know the value of n1. N1 is 1 minus z divided by 2, and similarly we have n2. So n2 is given by 1 plus z divided by 2. After substituting and integration, so we will get -1 to +1 n transpose into d xi, that's equal to 1 1. That yesterday we have done it. Those are 2 or 3 the integration parts. So I am not integrated all those things within the derivations. I put it in the last pages in the in PPT, so that no confusion. That's a part of your integration, the derivation, but you can keep it at the end. Or if you know the value of -1 to +1 n transpose into d xi 1 1, straight away you can write. But if you forget this value in the examination or test, you have to derive it. So after substituting everything, so we will end with xi transpose q le by 2. So we have this equation. So q le by 2 -1, that is nothing but rq. That is nothing but the heat generation vector. The elemental heat generation vector, that is given by rq. There is one more term you are using, r infinity. The r infinity is nothing but the heat vector, convective heat vector. Convective heat vector is nothing but, so how much amount of heat is lost to the surrounding medium, or how much amount of heat is lost to the surrounding medium by convection, is given by r infinity. Because why you are using the term infinity means the surrounding temperature is T infinity. Suppose the temperature of the hot rod is T surface Ts, and surrounding temperature is T infinity. Because of the low surrounding temperature, heat is lost to the surrounding medium. Hence, we'll get one more equation. That equation is referred as R infinity. So don't confuse between RQ and R infinity, or better to put it as RG only. So RG is nothing but heat generation vector, because Q is referred to heat generation vector, heat generation per unit volume. That I am giving the same example. If you immerse the heating coil in the bucket, if you switch on the immersion coil, so heat will be generated. That is the immersion coil is the heat source. If you switch on the iron box, again there is a heating coil, that is the heat generation. If you consider the internal combustion engine as a whole system, so once we start the engine, some amount of heat generated, that is referred by RQ. The heat generation vector is given by RQ, or I'll slightly modify and make it as RG is better, so that you have a better understanding. You can put it as RQ also if it is already written in the notes. Otherwise, you can put it as RG. That is the one more option. That is, choice is left to you. But only thing is, whatever it may be, if you have to define what is RQ, where RQ refer to heat generation vector. Heat generation is vector is nothing but within the element there may be some amount of heat generating element. It will generate some amount of heat, that is given by this formula. So you have derived one formula, 2 Le by 2 1 1, that is nothing but heat generation vector. So now this is for the individual element, but in finite element analysis, so imagine heat generation for element 1 is known, 2 is known, 3 is 1, 4 known, etc. Then finally, you have to find out the total heat generation. That is nothing but summation of RQ. So that is nothing but this equation. Summation of RQ is referred by capital letter RQ. Capital letter RQ is nothing but the global heat generation vector. The RQ is the element heat generation vector because you are considering the length of the element, the heat generated within the element. But when you come to capital letter RQ, that refers to the global heat generation vector. So now it is nothing but summation of flow and so become totally it will become RQ. So now we have finished 1A term. Now we have to go for 1B term. I think if we start from this equation, we have started with the first term. The first term is 0 to L phi q dx. So you are end with one term that is nothing but RQ. Now you are moving to the 1B term. This is the 1B term. If you come to 1B term, this is a 1B term, that is equation number 12. I am referring as equation number 12. So we have, so you have to go by integration by parts. 0 to L, we have phi is also variable, and dt by dx is also variable. Phi is not constant. Hence, you have to go by integration by parts. So we know that, so integration by parts is given by v into dv is equal to uv minus integration of v into du. So you have to choose such a way that you have to make our job easier, the simplification easier. That's why you are taking u is equal to xi. It's a u into dv. The d by dx is nothing but a d into v is k into dt by dx. Now we can assume. So this is u and this term is v and dv is complete this term. If you go by integration by parts, we have equation number 12 in simple way, in mathematical way. So you have to integrate by parts. We have the formula for integration by parts, and once you integrate by parts, the v into dv, the first term is u into v. So u is first term is phi, v is k into dt by dx. The integration limit is 0 to L. Second term is the integration of v into du. So integration of v into du is, the v is k dt by dx, du is the d phi, u is 5, du is d phi by dx into dx. Now we are going for the integration by parts for the 1b term. We are not moved to the second term. We are in the first term. Now after you have the first term here, so you have to apply the limit. One is upper limit L. Wherever there is a phi, for each and every term, you have to apply the upper limit, then one more lower limit. Once you apply the upper limit, phi is replaced by phi of L, the k is replaced by k of L, and dt by dx, you have to find out what is the rate of change of temperature when at x is equal to L minus phi of 0, k of 0, dt by dx, and third term, this is the integration term, we are keeping as it is. In general, we know that wherever the temperature is specified at x is equal to 0, the temperature is specified. So wherever temperature is specified, the function phi becomes 0. Phi is a temperature function. Its value is 0. Hence, this second term value becomes 0. You are considering only the first term and third term. Again, it is nothing but conduction heat transfer. The first term refers to conduction heat transfer, k into dt by dx is the conduction heat transfer at the tip of the blade, at the tip of the rod. That will be tip of the rod. How much amount of heat is conducted through the rod? It goes to the surrounding medium by convection. That means dt by dx, or at x is equal to L. So whatever the amount of heat is transferred by conduction, that's also equal to convective heat transfer. Same thing is shown here. 1b, we have phi L, kl, so and so. If you consider q at x is equal to L, convective heat transfer is also equal to conduction heat transfer. Or if you can imagine steel rod, the red dot rod, at the tip of the rod, you are heating from left end, at the tip of the rod, so whatever the amount of heat conducted to the rod goes to the surrounding medium by convective heat transfer. So that means, suppose at the tip of the rod, total amount of heat conducted is that it be 10,000 watt. That is a conduction heat transfer. That's also equal to that complete heat is transferred to the surrounding medium. So convective heat transfer also equal to 1000 watt. Hence, that is applies only at x is equal to L, not at any other point. When x is equal to L by 2, the heat is transferred by conduction. And x is equal to 2 by 3L, again heat is transferred through the conduction only. Only at x is equal to L. If you want, I'll show this diagram also. Here at x is equal to L, in this portion at x is equal to L, this is the point at x is equal to L. So whatever the amount of heat is conducted, it is goes to the surrounding medium by convection. Same thing is shown here. So you are equating conduction heat transfer to convective heat transfer, or if you consider the first term, the KL into dt by dx is replaced by H into TL minus T infinity. So now we require the function phi L. So repeatedly we are using the equation. In general, in finite element analysis, the displacement at any point within the element U is given by the n vector, it is a row vector n1, n2, and column vector or element displacement vector q1, q2. But when you come to heat transfer, so temperature at any point within the element is given by n vector, column vector into row vector into temperature vector T1, T2. The similar way we can write phi is equal to n of element and xi of element. The phi is temperature function, that's equal to n of element into xi of the element. The xi of the element is nothing but a global local temperature or elemental temperature vector. The phi of L is equal to n of L into xi of L, but n of L, n value at x is equal to L is equal to 1. You have to remember the value of L, value of n at x is equal to L is given by 1. We are familiar. Once you say n1 value, n2 value is equal to 1 at node 2 and n2 value is equal to 0 at node 1. That is one of the properties of the interpolation function or shape function that already you have studied. In the similar way, the n value is equal to 1 at x is equal to L. The same n value is equal to 0 at x is equal to 0, but you are not interested in x is equal to 0. You are concentrating only on x is equal to L. Only at x is equal to L or tip of the rod. So whatever the amount of heat conducted is transferred to the surrounding medium by convective heat transfer. Finally, we are end with n of L is equal to, so 1 into xi of L. So n of L, phi of L is equal to n of L into xi of L, and phi of L, the n of L is equal to 1. Finally, phi of L is equal to xi of L. We have this equation. This xi of L is replaced, the phi of L is replaced by xi of L in the next equation. Same thing here. Here originally we have phi of L. The phi of L is replaced by xi of L. This is the convective heat transfer coefficient. We have one more. So we have one more, especially when you come to convection heat transfer at x is equal to L. So H of L is also equal to 0. The convective heat transfer coefficient or convective heat transfer is also equal to 0. That's a one more function you have to remember. That means at the tip, there is a one option. Whatever the amount of heat conducted, it will be it will be conduction. That is one equation. That is one part. If you consider the overall area of the tip, imagine you have the heated rod. I think you can imagine we have a red hot rod. We have surface area, and if you compare the surface area, peripheral area with the tip area is very very small. So normally it is referred as tip is insulated, or especially in the case of fins, you are assuming that tip is equal to exclusively, or you are assuming that tip is equal to, you are defining tip of the fin is insulated because the area at the tip is very small compared to other surfaces, like your paper. The top surface of the area and bottom surface area, if you consider this overall bigger surface area, and if you see the thickness direction, the thickness is very very small. Hence, in the thickness direction, the heat transfer rate is 0. The heat transfer takes place, but compared to the top surface of the paper as well as bottom surface of the paper, the thickness is very very small. So thickness into the breadth of the paper that become very, very small. Hence, it will be assumed that it is a insulated. So once it is insulated at the tip of the steel rod, then it is heated from the one end. Other end of the steel rod is assumed to be the insulated. Once it is insulated, there is no convective heat transfer. There is no convective heat transfer. When there is no convective heat transfer, H of L becomes 0. Then 13A term becomes 0. That's the first part. When you come to same 13B term, 13B is like this. This is the equation number 13. So this term becomes, this term becomes 0. This term becomes 0. Now you have to go for integration of this term, the second term of equation 13. So now I am considering the second term of the equation 13. We have the integration 0 to L. As usual, we have the equation that is in the global coordinate. Now you have to convert those integration into natural coordinate. The integration limit ranging from -1 to +1. So wherever dx is there, you have to replace dx by, we have this equation. This equation you have to remember. Don't try to remember dz, what is the value of dz or dx. So remember only equation, this equation. Xi is equal to 2 of x minus x1 divided by LE minus 1. So this equation you have to remember. Once you remember this equation, depending upon our requirement, we can get the value of dxi or we can get the value of dx. But in this case, this is the global coordinate that you have to dx, you have to express in terms of natural coordinate. So once you differentiate this equation, you get the equation for dx. Dx is equal to Le by 2 into d xi. Dx can be replaced by Le by 2 into d xi. The limit become -1 to +1. K remains constant. Dt by dx, we are familiar. Rate of change of temperature with respect to along the x direction or heat flow direction is given by B transpose into T. That in the starting of heat transfer, we have derived B transpose matrix. We can refer those derivation that is already given in the notes. The dt by dx is given by B transpose into TE. So T is the temperature vector. So dt by Vt is the B matrix. That B matrix also known. B matrix is given by 1 by Le 1 minus 1. That is the B matrix. The temperature vector is T1, T2. So this equation already you are derived in detail. We have spent 1 hour for this in the beginning of heat transfer class. That you have to remember. So now, so dt by dx is equal to B transpose into Te. In the similar way, we have the function phi. So dt by dx is equal to B transpose into Te. In the similar way, phi is again one more temperature function. D phi by dx is equal to B transpose into phi. So this also can be written as, you have one more mathematical equivalent, xi transpose into B transpose, because this is B matrix. It is a 1 by 2 matrix. And if you multiply this, here we get one B matrix and here we get one more B matrix. So vector of the same order cannot be multiplied. Hence you are taking the transpose. Here you can see this is one B matrix. This is one more B matrix. The vector of the same order. If you imagine we have the vector or a column vector of 4 by 1. We have one matrix and one more vector is again a 4 by 1. Those two vectors cannot be multiplied. But we can multiply with 4 by 1 vector with 1 by 4 vector. So hence, so you are taking the transpose. Yes, we have d phi by similar to dt by dx. Dt by dx refer to variation of the temperature with along the x direction. In the similar way, phi is again variation of the temperature. It is a virtual temperature within the element is given by B transpose. Here we have Te, but here Te is replaced by xi. And we have here one B and here one B. To multiply those two matrices, B matrices, you are taking B transpose. Now finally, with this equation number 13B becomes this equation. K remains same. The dt by dx is replaced by B matrix for the heat transfer into Te, and d xi by dx is replaced by xi transpose into B transpose. Dx is replaced by Le by 2 into d xi. So if you simplify those, if you reason these videos, that is not sufficient. If you reason this online lecture, it is not sufficient. From your side, you have to put sincere effort. You have to derive, because already notes is given to you. So you have to practice this equation. Otherwise, it is very difficult to reproduce in the final examinations. Now, finally, we have this equation. After substituting everything, so then you are going for the further simplification. You are taking xi transpose outside. So now this is the KELE. K is the element conductivity matrix. LE divided by 2, or element is a conductivity value. K refer to conductivity value. So LE is the length of the element. K is the thermal conductivity into so and so. So we know what is B transpose. So B transpose, that this whole term within the square bracket, it is nothing but thermal conductivity matrix. This part again we have derived in the previous equation. So Galerkin approach only for the conduction. This part is same as the previous equation that we have derived 1 week before. So now finally we have equation for thermal conductivity matrix, that is given by the thermal conductivity of the element into length of the element divided by 2 into so and so. Integration of -1 to +1 B transpose B into d xi. So after simplifying this integration of B transpose B into d xi, that simplification part yesterday we have done separately. The B value is given by 1 by LE 1 minus 1. That is the B value. So once you multiply those two and if you simplify it further, so we are end with thermal conductivity matter. That is the derivation is there at the last. We can last page. We can refer that yesterday already was spent. I am not going for detailed derivation today, but in general, you remember the integration of -1 to +1, or if you can have derive also, no problem. So finally, we end with the thermal conductivity matrix is given by Ke by Le -1 minus 1 plus 1. You can multiply by AE also, but most of the time we are considering AE is equal to 1 meter square. So now first term, we are considering one in the first term. The first term is xi transpose. So xi transpose into R cube, and second term is, we can see here, second term is this term. The equation number 20, the 30, the second term is xi transpose KT into TE. There's a one term, and one more term already we have. Here we have one more term. This term 1A is xi equation number 10, xi transpose into R cube. So once you take the integration, xi transpose into capital letter R cube, that's the one term, and after simplification, adding etc. So you end with first term. The first term is xi transpose R cube plus the xi transpose the thermal conductivity matrix into TE, that are just you have derived this equation. Xi transpose thermal conductivity matrix into TE, that is the one more term. Now first term is over. Now you have to go for the second term. You have any difficulties till now? If you have any difficulties, you can discuss. Otherwise, I'll go for the second term. Please, the notes is already given. If you want, I'll give the detailed notes also. I'll put it in the group. So practice these equations. So practicing these equations are very important. Otherwise, it is very difficult to write those things in the examination, because those three derivations are there. Those things, out of three, one derivation come for your examination. One derivation may come for your coming test. The portion for the test is the module 3, that is the beam as well as the torsion of the shaft, that is module 3. The module 4 is the heat transfer. This is the, I think, heat transfer is at the end of the, there is only one equation is derivation is pending, that is the Galerkin approach for heat transfer through the fin, that I am going to do tomorrow. So that will finish as your complete heat transfer chapter or module 4. The module 3 as well as module 4. In the examination, I think examination pattern or test pattern, your final third test pattern is given 5 questions. So you have to answer those 5 questions within a prescribed time. You have to upload it to Google Classroom. That is the pattern, the present planning of conduction of your the final as well as the second test. The portion for the second test is module 3, that is the beams and torsion of the shaft, and one more module is the finite element analysis of the heat transfer, that is module 4. There are 5 questions here. All 5 questions you have to answer. Time will be given. I think some time is already fixed. So you have to finish within the prescribed time. You have to upload into Google Classroom. So now if you consider second term means this is your second term. So if you go back and tell you what is second term is. So now you have finished this term. So you have simplified this complete first term. We end with one set of equation. Now you are simplifying the second term of equation 3a. So in the second term, again we have 5 into hb by a, t minus t infinity. Again you get 2 more terms. In the second term also you get 2 more terms. Once you multiply with this with this with this. So now you are dealing with second term. You are simplifying the second term. First term is over. First term you are end with. The second term is this. So you are expanding the term. So once you expand, you get 2 terms, because once you are multiplying with t and one more, you are all constant. You are multiplied by t infinity. Again, you get 2 equations. 24. Equation number 24. We have first term as well as second term. We can take it as 24a and 24b. So again, we have 0 to L. Integration limit is 0 to L. But you have to move from the global integration to the natural integration. Wherever there is a x is there, dx, that should be replaced by Le by 2 into dz, similar to previous case. Here also we have dx, that should be replaced by Le by 2 into dz by knowing this equation. You have to remember this equation. Once you remember this equation, we can, once you differentiate this equation, you get dx is equal to Le by 2 into dz. And generally we have temperature function phi is equal to n into xi, that also equal to xi transpose into n transpose. It is almost similar to your matrix you studied in mathematics. Suppose C is equal to A into B, C transpose is equal to B transpose into A. We have one more formula. By using that formula, we are writing phi is equal to n into xi. Phi transpose is equal to n transpose into xi transpose, but phi is also equal to xi transpose into n transpose. This is like this. So now you have multiplied, and your x is the complete x, dx is replaced by Le by 2 into dxi. We can see here dx is replaced by Le by 2 into dxi. Here also dx is replaced by Le by 2 into dxi. Then phi is replaced by xi transpose into n transpose. Here also phi is replaced by n xi transpose into n transpose. And finally, you are taking out the xi transpose outside here. Here we have the xi transpose you are taking outside, and inside we have h is constant, p is constant, the length of the element is constant, a is constant. Again we have the temperature. So T refer to temperature at any point within the element. I have given the same rod, steel rod. So one end of the steel rod is temperature T1, other end of the steel rod temperature is T2. The temperature vector TE is nothing but T1 and T2. The T vector TE is nothing but it is not a single temperature. The TE refers to nodal temperature T1 and T2. It is a column vector. So N is row vector N1 and N2. You have to remember, it is not just T is equal to N NTE. So T refer to temperature at any point within the element is equal to the N vector. The N vector is row vector N1, N2 into T is T1, T2. After here everything you are getting, T is replaced by N into T. Here we have T. The T is replaced by N into TE. And here, as usual, T infinity is constant temperature. So where T refer to temperature at any point within the element, the T infinity is known because it refers to the surrounding temperature. T infinity is known. It is nothing but, if you keep the steel rod, hot steel rod in the atmosphere, so hot steel rod surface temperature may be 500 degrees Celsius. The surrounding temperature is known, let it be around 28 degree or 30 degree. That is nothing but ambient temperature. No need to write T in terms T infinity in terms of N into TE, because T is unknown here. So hence you are writing in the vector form. T infinity retained as it is, no change. If you simplify it further, the xi transpose you are taking out here. Here also you are taking xi transpose. You are taking the summation. We have n transpose into n into d xi. After integration that you are yesterday you are discussed. I'm not interested in deriving the complete integration together here once again. So already we have 1 by 3, 2, 1, 1, 2 that we have derived. That is I put at the last page of your notes, the new notes. This especially this part the last of your PPT. Here also we have -1 to +1 n transpose. If you integrate, if you substitute n is equal to n1 n transpose is n1 n2. We know that n1 is equal to 1 minus xi divided by 2. n2 is 1 plus xi divided by 2. After substituting all those things and if you integrate, this will get 1 1. It is a column vector that is shown here. So finally we end with, we have this term is nothing but ht. This complete within the square bracket what term you have, that is nothing but convective heat transfer matrix. H refer to convective heat transfer coefficient is a single number, but ht refer to convective heat transfer matrix. It is given by h into ple. Same thing equation here. What we have here, that's written separately, divided by 2 ae minus 1 to plus 1 n transpose n into dz. That is nothing but the convective heat transfer coefficient. So integration of -1 to +1 n transpose n into dz, that's equal to, if we after substitution what is n1 n2, and after taking transpose, after integration and after substituting the value of upper limit and lower limit, we'll get this equation 1 by 3 2 1 2 that already you have derived in the previous class. The finally end with the convective heat transfer matrix is given by ht is given by hple divided by 6 into ae into 2112. That is the convective heat transfer matrix. When you come to fin, the p divided by ae become t by 2. T divided by 2 divided by t. So there is a slight variation, but this is the general formula. You can use this formula for the fin also. So p divided by ae is replaced by, I think, t divided by 2 in the case of fins, not in the case of general convective heat transfer. Even in the case of fins also, the amount of heat is transferred to the surrounding medium by convection. Within the fin material, the heat is conducted, but from fin material to the surrounding medium, heat is convected. So with slight modification, there is one more derivation. First term is the convective heat transfer coefficient you will get. This is the convective heat transfer coefficient. And when you come to second term, the second term is nothing but how much amount of heat is lost to the surrounding medium by convection. There are two types of two terms. One is heat generation. So you are adding the heat to the element. In thermodynamics or heat transfer you are studying. So if you consider the control volume, the heat is entering into the system. So heat is leaving the system. Here heat leaving the system is by convective heat transfer. Heat is entering the system by conduction. Some amount of heat is generated within the element, that is given by rq. We have defined one vector rq. Rq refer to how much amount of heat is generated within the element. The heat generation force vector, heat force vector, it is referred as heat force vector. There are two heat force vector. One heat force vector because of the generation, the one more heat force vector because of the heat lost to the surrounding medium. This complete vector, finally you are getting one vector, that is referred as r infinity. The r infinity is nothing but a force vector or heat force vector. Why you are getting negative sign here is, so heat is lost to the surrounding medium by convection. In simple way, we have a hot rod. Imagine it is a red hot rod. So heat is lost to the surrounding medium by convection. So that heat lost, or how much amount of heat is lost to the surrounding medium, is given by r infinity vector. R infinity means it is a convective heat transfer because we have T infinity. T infinity refer to the ambient temperature. So hence it is referred as R infinity. Wherever there is R infinity, that is referred to convective heat transfer. Convective heat transfer. Wherever there is RQ, it is referred as heat generation vector. How much amount of heat is generated within the element. Like I am giving the example of same example, the iron box. where heat generation element is there. Imagine immersion. Imagine we have immersion coil in the bucket. If you consider the whole system, immersion coil will act as a heat generation vector. So on the right hand side, we have two vectors in thermal equilibrium. So one is heat generation vector. So one more is the convective heat transfer force vector, or amount of heat lost to the surrounding medium. So now finally end with this. Already we have part, we have derived this equation yesterday. I'm not going to do this. Is only the detailed derivation. What is we have defined as this, and we have ht, we have defined the integration of -1 to +1. You are getting n transpose n into dt. So once you know, we know what is n1, we know what is n2. If you substitute everything, you get ht vector. Okay, down. Then we have rt vector, r infinity. So n transpose will get the integration of -1 to +1 into n into n transpose is nothing but 1 1. We know that. So n1 is n1 n2, n transpose is n1 n2. So n1 value is known, 1 minus z divided by 2. So n2 value is known, that is 1 plus z divided by 2. I put at the complete derivation is there in the last pages. And after simplification, so it is nothing but adding first term and second term. Once you add first term and second term, so first term is we have xi transpose into rq plus xi transpose into kt into t. That is the first term of original equation. Second term is one is we have heat convective heat transfer vector. Capital letter HT refer to convective heat transfer vector. And one more term is the heat force vector, because some amount of heat is lost to the surrounding medium. That is nothing but R infinity. So here RQ refer to heat generation vector. In simple way, you can remember. So there is a heat generation vector as well as heat lost vector. Amount of heat lost to the surrounding. Imagine we have a heating coil, the iron box. Inside the iron box, the heat generation vector, heat generating element is there, coil. And from the iron box, surface of the iron box, some amount of heat is lost. That is taken care by R infinity. So how much amount of heat is generated within the iron box or within the iron box heating element, that is given by RQ. Those two are nothing but a force vector. So R, you can take it as RQ minus R infinity, or R infinity, RQ, both are same. No, don't worry, you have to take the only difference of those two. Normally you can write it as RQ minus R infinity, but already we derived such a way that we are getting like this, we are keeping. So again, so this complete vector we can take it as K. Whenever there is a combined convection as well as conduction, we have KT matrix, that is a thermal conductivity matrix, that is a global thermal conductivity matrix. HT refer to the global convective heat transfer vector matrix. So together we get K value. That already we have done one problems in previous around 1 week or 2 weeks before. Just go through that problem that is already given in the notes also. So first you have to find out thermal conductivity matrix. Then you have to get convective heat transfer matrix. Then if you sum those two, that's a general matrix summation, then you will get the global K matrix. Then on the right hand side we have force vector. If you equate those two, so we can get temperature. Here RQ is known, R infinity is known, then KT is also known, HT is also known. The only thing is you have to find out temperature. It is nothing but KQ is equal to F. So K is known, Q is replaced by temperature. R on the right hand side, force term is replaced by heat force term. One heat force term because of the convection, it is R infinity. One more heat force term because of the heat generation, that is given by R infinity. The detailed derivation we have discussed yesterday, because we want somewhere we are reached -1 to +1 n in transpose into d xi. After integration etc., we get 1 1. So then we have B transpose into B, and after simplification etc., so we get one more equation. There is a one more equation, n transpose into n into d xi, that we have discussed after integration etc. So all those things, integration is simple mathematics. It is given in the notes, you can refer. Heat transfer through the fin we'll discuss tomorrow. So now we have finished two derivation. One is conduction, only conduction. One more is conduction combined with convection. Now we have derived. So that derivation is over. If you have any doubt, now you can discuss